But this weekend was all about records from the NBA All-Star and, of course, to the German Bundesliga. Taking a look at match day 21, where you had about 33 goals in 7 matches. And, of course, Bayern Munich actually accounted for 8 of that, and that was against Hamburg. And it was also a historic one for Hamburg, a -1, their heaviest defeat in their history. And of course, the last time they actually lost to Bayern with not that same scoreline, but 9-2, where the club had to, treat the fans to a great deal. That is, they had to get barbecue for them, but we don't know what they're going to do to them right now. But the coach have already apologized for that. Hello and welcome to Sport This Morning. I'm Cecilia Amogbe. First, the headlines. Well, the Golden Eaglet are making a winning start at the African Under-17 Championship in Niger Republic. They won their first game against host nation 2-0. And in Spain, Lionel Messi's 300th appearance for Barcelona ended with yet another record. He scored a hat-trick to equal Cristiano Ronaldo's record of 23. When will he stop? He just can't stop scoring. And in the NBA All-Star Weekend, it was all about one man, the blessed MVP, talking about Russell Westbrook. He had about 41 points to lead the West to a 163-158 win over the Eastern Conference. And of course, these points actually combined for the highest scoring All-Star game ever. Now let's enjoy some of the goals coming from the German Bundesliga. Borussia Dortmund, of course, back to winning ways. Well, Austin Okon-Akman joins me this morning. Of course, first, we'll just start with the German Bundesliga.
Cecilia, good to be with you this morning. And what a demolition by Bayern Munich to Hamburg. When you score 8 against your team that is in the same league with you, then there's a lot of questions to be asked. But that's Bayern Munich for you. They've always been dominant in the league, and Pep Guardiola is doing a great job. When you have like 3 players in your team scoring a brace each, and then Robert Lewandowski and what's his name, Frank Ribery coming to the party, it shows in all that they are a great side. And as we're approaching the Champions League, when you get results as this, just it tells your opponents, guys,
watch out.
what's there to study. When you're watching a team that when they get to the field of play, they just get rampant. Bayern Munich, arguably undisputed champions both in Europe and in Germany.
Okay, now you guys can talk to us on Twitter and of course on Facebook. What do you think about this, the record run? Because most times whenever they get to score as much goals as this, somehow they get to transfer that into the Champions League. So Shakhtar Donetsk tomorrow night, definitely they really want to meet this team on fire. Talk to us on Twitter and of course on Facebook about that. And also, well, we'll be talking about the Super Falcons, of course. Well, they will be resuming this Sunday, 22nd. And of course, Edwin Okonabi, he has invited about 36 players to camp. You have some players that are there, some that are not there. Which of the players you think should be there and the ones that are not really there? And which friendlies should the Nigerian Football Federation organize for them? Because they are busy looking for friendlies for the Super Eagles. But for the Super Falcons, maybe they're busy looking for, but we don't just know much about that because we're not hearing from them. Now let's take a look at the top 10 wins of Barcelona over the past 10 Bayern Munich over the past 10 years. Now, if you cast your mind back to 2000, the past 10 wins, yeah, to 2009, where it all started from March 10th, the day they actually defeated Sporting Lisbon 7-1, and that was in the UEFA Champions League, not a league game at all. And of course, you move over to 2010, April 17 precisely, where they defeated Hanover by 7-0. And St. Pauli also in the German Bundesliga, 8-1. That was another one. That was in 2011. In 2012, March 10th, well, they defeated Hoffenheim by 7-0. And in the Champions League after that, FC Barcelona were the one who actually had that. And of course, 7-0. And of course, Hamburg, this was the game they lost and they had to treat all their fans to some barbecue because they were really, embarrassed by such defeat, not knowing that it was going to happen again. But after that, when they went ahead to beat Werder Bremen by 7-0. And after that, it was AS Roma. AS Roma lost in Rome 7-1 to Bayern Munich. And of course, just this weekend here, 2015, 8-0. Will it be up to 8 against Shakhtar Donetsk? I just don't want to see that happen because this is the Champions League and, of course, it's the knockout stage. Austin, what do you think?
I said it and I'll say it again, dominant Bayern Munich. When you look at the scoreline of all that we saw, no 5, no 6, no 4, minimum is 7. And then of all the teams that have suffered the most is Hamburg. Yeah. Hamburg suffered 9-1 and then just over the weekend they got 8. So for me and Bayern Munich, I'm just looking forward to when the German Bundesliga will get competitive to the point that a team can come and then push them. Now it's about 5 or 8 points lead over Wolfsburg, and they're already racing away to the title. We want it to be competitive.
I hope they don't get to win it by April. Okay.
Possible.
All right. It's possible, right? Okay, now let's take a look at the Golden Eaglets. Of course, well, they're doing Nigeria very proud there in Niger Republic. We're starting on a winning note. Sometimes it's always cool to win your first game because when you do that, well, the others will definitely be easy for them.
Coach Emmanuel Amunike doing a great job with these lads, and they got into Niamey to a very good welcome. The local-based supporters club there, rooting for them, telling these guys they can go all the way. When you play the host country and you win 2-0, good motivation. And right after that game, straight up, they said they're looking forward to the match against Guinea. They win that one, then they're very close to the semi-final. Not having the big picture that the finalist is going to the Under-17 World Cup. So massive one. With the age grade, no shaking, Cecilia. When the Under-17 team, they play and the Under-20s, you just look at it and say, yeah, we know we'll win. But are we using our football to develop our football? That's where the question comes in, because I think the coaches are doing a good job by bringing out these talents. It's up to us now to turn around and see the gains in developing talent for the country.
Yeah, that's what is really essential. A situation whereby I remember when Joseph Yobo, of course, actually met with some of the players,
Yep.
you know, that the Flying Eagles. He said he was really happy. A situation whereby you have the under-17 boys were actually the one that graduated to under-21, and of course from there you get them into the national team. I think when we really have players like this playing very well and competitively, then we don't really have issues with having a future national team, in the sense that when you have players retiring, you'll be thinking who's going to replace them and all that. There was actually a time people were talking about Jojo Kocha, number 10 jersey, should retire because you've not really seen a player as fantastic as he is. We're still looking. But if you look at this crop of under 17, under 21 and all that, does that mean we really not have someone that close?
We do, Cecilia, but I think the major problem is the win at all cost syndrome.
Okay.
We just want to play competition and just win. We're not concerned about the players that we bring out of those competition. What a massive and fantastic player we have in Kelechi Iheanacho. But since after the under-17, have you seen him wear a national team jersey?
I think those, it was actually invited for the Chan Eagles African Championship.
Yeah.
But he needed to go to Man City trials and all that, and that was what was cut off the plan.
But he hasn't. So that's a big question mark on our administrators and the coaches. When you have such a talent, you should give him a chance to play for the country. Let him feel, let him belong to the country, because I mean, he's a good talent. See the likes of Wakali. Taiwo Awoniyi, he's doing so well now with the under-20s. Grab him into the Olympic team. After that, play a friendly game and just bring him on into the Super Eagles.
You don't have to wait 5 years later before you know that you can't even find most of them again.
Monitor their progress and make them believe that they have the quality to represent the senior national team.
I think that was what the last sport minister said, that he was going to monitor their progress and see how they're going to go. But you know, Nigeria, we change everything. Okay, now talking about the Super Falcons, of course, well, we know the Golden Eaglets, the under-21, Flying Eagles, of course, the Dream Team, they're all doing so well. Friendly games everywhere, you know, just everything. They've been in camp for a long time. Now the Super Falcons, well, finally, the list is out. Okay, we heard that this weekend they'll definitely be called to camp and all that. Edwin Okon invited 36 players. Friday, that's when we got the gist, and he's supposed to talk to us on the show. We'll be expecting his call. Still on the show. And of course, the gist now is, well, they will finally be resuming camp. Is it really too late, or they still have something that they can, you know, get out of this? Because they will be playing Mali at All African Games. That will now be the focus. And after that, they're playing Mali again in Olympic qualifiers. And the game, of course, have been shifted forward by 2 weeks simply because of the fact that, you know, they'll be going for the World Cup and all that. Our Nigerian Football Federation have said that they'll also be going to Canada for the final training camp. Is that just the only thing they're going to do, the final training camp in Canada?
And I'm saying everything they're doing now is coming too late, because, Cecilia, it's so much on the ladies. When you are dominant in Africa, it makes you the team to beat.
Okay.
When you're going to the World Cup and you are in the group of death, it should tell you that you need to prepare adequately for the competition. Someone told us they were going to be in camp last week. They didn't get to camp, and nobody told us anything. They have said they are coming to camp now. We're waiting to see what they can do actually. I like Coach Edwin Okon and this crop of Super Falcons players. They have this hunger to just represent the country and do well. But if we don't fix a problem, it will remain a problem.
Yes,
if we are used to the fire brigade approach of we will wait till about 1 month or even 3 weeks to the competition and then we start getting ready, we're just going to add to the numbers, because the Super Falcons have impressed in every other way except the Women's World Cup. So when that competition is coming through, you need to bring all your best in terms of preparation.
They're looking at the fact that at the under-20 level, or the Azizat and all that, they wanted to play, they actually got to the final, they didn't have much of preparations. They're still looking at the fact that, okay, they can still do it. I think because someone actually said, you know, sometimes it's really not so good for you to win when you don't prepare well, because it helps you to go prepare. But by the time you win, you feel you've arrived and you can achieve everything. So even if you have just 2-3 days to put everything together, the most important thing is that you go there, you get the results. So it seems more like a plus.
But come on, Cecilia, let's stop this as a country. Because take away Asisat Oshoala, and maybe if they bring Perpetua and Kocha again, what other big names do you have on the team? As a country, we should be... Okay, well, Desire Paranese to some point, yeah.
Evelyn Wambuku, you have too many, of them.
Those are just team members.
You're just looking at the star player.
Look at what I'm trying to say. Look at Germany. They won the World Cup, And the country, because of what they've done for their football, they made every player there a star player. My God, sir, for Christ's sake, what is in the German team? But when it comes in and it scores a World Cup goal and the country is doing so much for developing their football, then that's it. If we don't get to play competitions, under 17, how many people can come out and name about 7 or 8 players in the under 17 team? Because we don't see them play, we don't hear about them often, particularly women's football in this country, where we know that when they go to a competition, they will put smiles on our faces. Why not do more so you can expect more?